Hey guys, welcome to Graveyard Read Book Reviews. Thanks for joining me today. Hope everyone's having a good week. We just came back from seeing the movie Bring Her Back by Danny and Michael Philippou, I think their name is. Wow, this was absolutely crazy bonkers movie. Now, I went into this movie completely blind. The only thing I did was see the trailer. I knew nothing about it. The only thing I knew was a lot of people saying, you gotta go see this movie. It's absolutely crazy. And this movie was crazy. I'm just gonna give you a little bit of the storyline. Two kids, they just lost their dad and they're being placed in a foster home. Their new foster mother, her name is Laura, played by Sally Hawkins. At first, the kids go to the house and, they're welcomed by open arms and everything's all hunky dory until, okay, so this movie, deals with a lot with, I should give you a trigger warning. It deals with, motherhood, tragedy, child abuse. There's a lot going on in this movie. So after a while, the boy, his name's Andy, he's realizing that things are a little strange around the house. Laura has a nephew. His name is Ollie. And this child, whoever portrayed this, whoever this actor was fantastic. I mean, this kid was creepy beyond, I don't know what. So I'm not going to give everything away. Obviously, I want you to see it. But just a few trigger warnings. It has to do with child abuse, motherhood who has experienced tragedy, losing her child. So there's a lot of, there's a lot to this. It's deep and dark. It's also very gross, extremely gory beyond reckoning. I mean, this is, my husband and I were watching this movie and we were like, oh my God, what are we watching? Oh my God, I don't want to look anymore. So if you were to put the gory aside and just focus on the story itself, the performances in this movie are incredible. The kids, every single actor who portrayed the kids are completely amazing, especially the one who plays Ollie. The performance that really took the cake was Sally Hawkins as portraying the foster mother. I haven't seen her in a lot of films. I know she's an Australian actress. This is an Australian movie. But she just blew this away. Just incredible in performance by her. I'm hoping for an Oscar nod. That's how good she was in this. The thing I did not like about the movie is that there were a lot of holes. There were a lot of open-ended questions. And the thing that frustrates me the most is leaving the theater and with all these questions like, well, they didn't really explain that. And why did that happen? So that's very frustrating. But this movie is completely worth it. Please go see it. I would give it about 4.5 stars. The directors who made this movie, they also made a movie called Talk to Me, which was a few years back. That was another good one. That dealt with teenagers kind of, daring themselves to participate in this game by holding a mannequin hand, and it transports them to a past dead person. It was crazy. It wasn't as gory as Bring Her Back, but it was still really frightening. So I'm hoping to see more of their work. They're really good directors. I missed some of my coffee here. I'm a little parched. By the way, I have a lot of t-shirts with what I'm wearing, the Graveyard Read Book Reviews. And I'm giving them away. I have a lot and I have to give them away. So if anyone wants one, let me know and I'll send one. Okay, the next part of this video is why does the Academy of Motion Pictures hate horror films? Now, I'm not saying the Oscars hate all horror films. I did some research and I saw that only 6 horror movies were actually either nominated or won for the Academy Awards. Mostly, the Academy Awards, they focus on 3-hour mega dramas. Okay, so I did some research, and I'm going to let you know on the 6 movies that I mentioned. The Exorcist, Jaws, Silence of the Lambs, The Sixth Sense, Black Swan, and Get Out. Okay, so those are excellent movies, and so they were either nominated or somewhere. I know Silence of the Lambs won in '91. There were actually 4 wins. There were Best Picture, Best Director, Actor, and Actress. And I wouldn't really say Silence of the Lambs was a horror film, even though the subject matter was very horrific. But I would say it's more of a thriller. Let me know what you think. I don't know if anyone agrees with me there. So I'm going to give you a list of, in my opinion, what movies were snubbed by the Oscars, movies or the actors. Okay, my first one is American Psycho with Christian Bale. Now, his performance was perfect as Patrick Bateman. This was based off of a book, and oh, he was so good. He was funny and gruesome at the same time. The movie was very hard to watch, but it had that humor, part of it that made it more enjoyable. Okay, the second movie is Hereditary with Toni Collette. Now, this was one of the biggest snubs I think, the Oscars ever done. Her performance was absolutely gold. She's a great actress. It was a great movie. It's definitely a horror film, but it was very well written. It was a great storyline, and like I said, her performance was just amazing. And it's really a shame that she wasn't nominated. Okay, Midsommar, which is another one of my favorites. I don't know if anyone's seen this, but this is this was quite a film, especially for like the cinematography for this film. I'm surprised that wasn't nominated. It was beautiful to look at, even though it was a very disturbing movie. But the scenery, it was filmed outdoors. Um, there's a lot of costume design and just scenery that was just so striking and beautiful to look at. So I'm really surprised that that wasn't nominated as well. Okay, the movie Us by Jordan Peele. I love this director. I cannot wait to see more of his films, and he keeps on, putting them out, every so often. But the movie Us, which was really freaky, I really enjoyed this film. That did not get any nominations as well, and I don't understand why, because it was just such a good film. Okay, my last one is The Babadook. Now, I'm going to put this last because really it was one of my favorites. It deals with motherhood and protection of a child. It's more of like, I want to say it's more like uh, a dark version of a fairy tale monster. And it's more like consuming the psychological part of the mother. If you ever seen it, I'm not going to give it away, but it was so good. It was the type of movie where you were afraid to go to bed at night and you cannot sleep because you're just under the covers waiting for the Babadook. There has been Oscars that have been awarded for best makeup or best costume design. For example, American Werewolf in London. That was for Rick Baker, who won for best makeup. And I don't know if anyone's seen it. You should see it. It's a classic. The transformation scene is just top notch. It was great. And that's what I always respected, was the makeup of a film. Not that I don't like CGI. I'm not a big fan of it, but sometimes it does work with certain movies. But this was very genuine. It was just homemade, special effects. Everything was makeup and well done. Also, for costume design, Bram Stoker's Dracula, I think 1992 with Gary Oldman, that won best costume design, which was so worth it. If you haven't seen it, please see this movie. It's excellent. The costumes are a very period piece, very colorful, long robes, long, beautiful gowns that the ladies wore. It's just very stylish, gorgeous film. So are horror films discriminated by the Academy? I would say yes and no. most critics, they hear the word horror film or they see a horror film. Right away, they think, Friday the 13th or Halloween, slasher movies, Freddy Krueger. Those are a lot of fun. They're great slasher films, but not Oscar worthy or respected by the Academy. But nowadays, I think since, the past 10 years, horror movies have been very sophisticated and intelligent, well scripted, beautifully filmed. The acting is superb. Horror movies are not always monsters and killers. Nowadays, horror movies are more psychological, everyday people going through their personal demons. For example, what we just saw, Bring Her Back. It deals with, a lot of subject that are, very touchy, very, personal. But the screenwriting nowadays, it makes it more enjoyable because it's about people. It's about you and I in our personal tragedies. It's just nice to see screenwriting done so captivating and compelling. Very talented screenwriters nowadays and talented directors. And it's nice to see. As a horror fan, you want to see something more than just slasher films. And that's what I appreciate the most. So there you have it. Let me know what your thoughts are. Go in the comments and let me know if I missed any movies that should have been on my list for snubs. Or, whatever your favorite horror films, please comment. Give me a like and subscribe to my channel. I really appreciate you watching. My next video, I'm going to start working more on book reviews. I'm finishing up a few books, so my next video will be on those. So thanks for watching. Please support your indie authors, support local bookstores, and I'll see you later.